Bitcoin to 150k soon, the top 6 assets for 2025. Bitcoin, Ethereum, stocks and altcoins technical analysis. Hello people, I'm the NakedTrader and today I will analyze Bitcoin USDT, Ethereum USDT, Boeing Stock. By the way, we will take a look back at my previous analysis, which resulted in more than 40% profits of Boeing, Comcast stock, Hyperliquid and Worldcoin. And also I will take a look back at my previous analysis, which resulted in more than 600% profits, exactly 668% profits. By the way, if you're not a member of Team NakedTrader yet, would you be so kind to press that subscribe button? It will help me a lot. For now, let's start with the weekly performance of the crypto market. Overall, a mixed sentiment. We do have some green numbers on the weekly. Hyperliquid is up 32.8, SPX 26.6, Worldcoin 20.3, Monero, amazing week for Monero, 20% up. And the red ones of this week, IOTA minus 9.6, LDO minus 8.3, Maker minus 8.5, and what VeChain minus 5.8, IP minus 13.5, EOS or Volta minus 9.7, and from the weekly I will change to the daily. Today is a red day. So far only Hyperliquid is up 1.5, Tether Gold, and the rest is all down. Just Me Coin minus 5.8, Dogwifhat minus 6.1, Bonk minus 9.6, Pepe minus 7.7, Worldcoin minus 8, Sandbox minus 4.3, Injective minus 7.1, Jupiter minus 7.7. And from here I will go to CoinMarketCap. Currently we have a market cap of 3.37 trillion with a 24-hour volume of 98.93 billion. And the current fear and greed is at 67, which is still in the greed zone. And the top 10 coins of today are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, XRP, Binance, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, and Tron. And from here I will go to the weekly performance of the stock market. Overall more red than green ones. Apple went down 7.57, AMD minus 5.86, Oracle minus 2.82, Palantir minus 4.79, Home Depot minus 4.75, Liliali minus 5.77. Next Era Energy minus 9.65. There are some green ones. Intuit is up 7.44. Snowflake 9.27. CyberArk 7.41. Philip Morris 4.55. Novo Nordisk 4.63. And from here, let's go to the chart of Bitcoin. Starting at the weekly, about 12 hours and 43 minutes to close this week's candle. The current price at 107,074. Amazing week. And last week was very positive. It closed very bullish, and also this week a potential weekly gain of this previous 104,537 previous weekly all-time high. So that will be very bullish if it's close above 105,149 here. Amazing. We will know it in 12 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, from here, let's go to the daily. On the daily, we already have a daily gain of its previous all-time high. Beautiful price action. Let me add something. I'll add another level. $111,743 daily level added. Okay, so like mentioned in last week's stream, the bullish scenario seems to play out. Pullback with the entry here at 106,049 can also be a little bit lower, around 105,149. This one didn't play out. Okay. So if the bullish entry here between 105,150 and 106,149 doesn't hold support, then the entry here at 102,569, aiming to break its all-time high for the continuation play to 120, 150k. And if it doesn't hold support here, then the next entry will be still valid, the entry of 96,131. And if it loses support over there, the entry at 92,227. By the way, I will add one more. If price managed to go up, let's say test 120, 125, pullback with an entry at its last all-time high, 111,743, aiming for 130k. So we have 5 potential scenarios here, actually 4 new ones, and this one is still in play. And from here I will go to Comcast Corporation, starting at the monthly, current price at $34.52. Okay, I will add some levels. Okay, rejection on the monthly, went back to the start of the impulse. This area already tested, the 31.38. From the monthly I will change to the weekly. Here try to hold support. Rejection from its drop off here at 37.14, went back to the start of the impulse. Currently rejecting the 35.43. Okay, let me go back and let me change to the daily. Okay, daily gain of the drop off here, no daily loss over here. So if the price goes up, then I would like to see a daily gain above 37.62, pullback with entry over here at 35.43, 35.66 somewhere, aiming to break the $40. And let me go back to the weekly. If the price doesn't hold support, then I would aim for the entry here just on the $30, trying to go up from there. And else I would be very defensive and wait for an entry over here at $25, trying to go up from there. And else, if the price managed to go up and let's say test $41 from here, pull back with an entry around 36.52, 37.14, aiming to break the 43.92. So we have 4 potential scenarios for the coming days. And from here I will go to Boeing. I've charted this one early in the late 2024. And if you take a look at this, the entry over here got filled flawless. Look at this, up to here, more than 40% profits. So that was the entry of 146.02. This entry initially was front-runner over here. That was the entry of 162.89. The price went as low as 164.82. So that's a $2 difference. If you was a little bit more aggressive, you had initially about 14% profits, 13.93. And later, the end here, it did try to hold support. That was the entry of 156.91. Eventually, it fell through support, but that it doesn't matter. If you took position over here, you was in profit initially 17% and later on 32.92. And this defensive entry of 146.02, initially the profit was 26% and later 42.74. So I'll post a link of the previous analysis in the description so you can check it out if you like. And the most defensive entry never came. That was the entry of $98.59. So let me remove those scenarios. And I will go to the monthly. Here was the start of the impulse to the high of 257, rejection on the monthly, and went back to the start of the impulse. Here was a gain on the monthly of the previous drop off. Here did try to hold support around $190, and then later on rejection, downtrend, and now trying to go in an uptrend. Let me change to the weekly. Nice weekly gains of the previous drop off. So this whole lower range is gained on the weekly. Beautiful price action. Okay. And from the weekly, I will go to the daily. Okay. And from here, let's go back to the weekly and make a plan for the coming days. If you're not in position yet, either the aggressive entry here at $185, aiming to break that $207, aiming for 212, and else the more defensive entry over here, 173.66, aiming for 196, and the most defensive entry for now, the entry around 166, trying to go up from there. And if the price managed to go up from here, let's say there's the 238, pullback with the entry at 207, aiming for the 257. So 4 potential scenarios for the coming days. And from here, let's go to Hyperliquid, starting at the weekly. Current price at 36.30, almost at its all-time high of $42. There's not a lot of price information here, but let's see what I can do. And from the weekly, I will go to the daily. Four hour. Okay, let me go back to the daily. If the price manages to go up from here, then pull back, but this high risk play, the entry at 34.19, aiming for its all-time high, and else the entry between $28 and $29. And then the start of its impulse over here, $26. And if it loses support over here, then I would aim for the entry here at $20, trying to go up from there. So we have 4 potential plays for Hyperliquid the coming days, and from here let's go to Worldcoin. I've charted this one at the end of 2023, and if we look closer, this entry didn't came at the time, the entry of $1.18, but look at this, the gain, the pullback, the entry at $1.50. And if you had played this one, look at this, we all know what happened. Initially 213%, and later on 690% profits. I hope you took some profits over there and increase your stop loss to prevent losses. So almost 700% profits, insane. I will post a link of the previous analysis in the description so you can check it out. And look what happened after that. The price went as low as 56 cents. So imagine, from its all-time high, the price went down 94%. Insane. So I hope you took some profits over there. And for now, I would like to start with a clean chart. So let's start at the weekly. Currently at resistance of $1.39, that was support over here. Okay, let's change to the daily. On the daily, nice uptrend. Low, high, higher low, higher high, continuation, another higher low, higher high, etc. Beautiful price action. And this was the drop off to the low, the $1.21 to the low of 61 cents. Daily gains of that low, of that drop off, sorry. Let me change to the 4-hour. Okay. I'll go back to the daily and make a plan for the coming days. If it's keep rejecting, then the entry at $1.21, aiming to break the $1.62. How much is that? First target point here around 14%, second target point around 32%. Okay. And else I would aim for the entry. You can play the start of the impulse over here, $1.09. But perhaps everyone will take a look at this one. So maybe this one is even better. So either the aggressive play or this one just under $1 at 98 cents. Trying to go up from there. And if the price managed to go up, then I would like to see a daily gain of $1.77. Daily gain $1.77. Pullback entry $1.40. Aiming to break that $2.10. So we have 4 potential scenarios for Worldcoin in the coming days. And from here, let's go to Ethereum. Starting at the weekly, about 12 hours and 18 minutes to close this week's candle. A red week so far. It's looking weaker than Bitcoin again. A rejection last week from its previous drop-off. And this week, another rejection. Where Bitcoin is gaining, Ethereum is rejecting on the weekly. Doesn't look strong. Kind of disappointed. And let me show the weekly levels. So it's rejecting the 2,757. From the weekly, I will change to the daily. What do we see on the daily? Same as on the weekly. On the daily, also rejecting this drop off multiple times. Trying to hold support over here on the daily. Let me add some new daily levels. Trying to hold support here at 2,475. And again, rejecting. Okay, and I will show last week's scenarios. So this one didn't play out so far because I don't consider this as the gain as I would like to see, because we need to see the test around $3,000 perhaps a 4-hour gain or daily gain above 2,819 to activate this scenario. So it is still open to play. And else, if the price goes up more aggressive, then this one also still in play. Let's say the test of 3,370 pullback with the entry at 2,757, aiming to break the 3.5 thousand. But if it doesn't hold support, then this scenario is in play. The entry at 2,241. If it loses support over there, then the entry here is in play. The entry of $2,036. And if it loses support, this one also still valid. That was the start of the impulse over here. That's the entry at 1,816. It was the start of this impulse with an upside of 47%. But for now, I would like to see a next push up, else it's losing its momentum again. Doesn't look good. But now, thank you guys for watching this episode. Enjoy your day and see you in the next one. Laters.